Let's talk, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah, listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows. Yo, the vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. Yeah. No filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and get a teacup. Biggie time, so let's light things up.
Live. Biggie, 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 Biggie on the mic.
Hey, right.
We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah. Listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, dig it out,
Break it down,
break it clear,
break it clear.
no filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, yeah. From the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic, with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme, we'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and get a teacup. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit like a let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time. time, so let's light things up. Live. Biggie, 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 biggie on the mic.
Hey, right.
We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything in here, what's up? It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah. Listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, dig it out.
Break it down.
Break it.
Let's talk, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah, listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows. Yo, the vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. No filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and get a teacup. Biggie time, so let's light things up. Let's talk, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah, listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows. Yo, the vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. No filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, 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 hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Follow Biggie, 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 hit let's light things up. Let's talk, biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Yeah, listen up, Biggie in the studio, where the real talk flows. Yo, the vibe is buzzing, the truth is loud, but Biggie talking calm, keeping it proud. We got stories of struggle, from hardship to hope, from the block to the globe. Yo, Biggie, break it down, break it clear. Yeah. No filter, no lie, just sincere. Follow Biggie, hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. Follow Biggie, hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. Biggie talks about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Follow Biggie, hit the like and let's talk. We're not about drama, just about the life we walk. Drop everything and hear what's up. It's Biggie time, so let's light things up. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. Biggie on mic with heat to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night.
Yo, Biggie on the mic. We're talking truth, no hype. Drop that knife, drop that fork. It's time to light the torch. Listen up, we're in the studio, where the real talk flows, yo. The city's buzzing, the streets are loud, but we're talking calm, keep it proud. We got stories of struggle, stories of hope, from the block to the globe. We'll break it down, we'll break it clear. No fear, just sincere. Biggie, we're here to talk. We're not about drama, just a solid walk. Put down your knife, put down your fork. Let's talk about life, the truth, the word. We talk about money, we talk about pain, the pain of the youth, the loss of the main. We talk about love, about family ties, all the good and all the lies. We break the chains of ignorance, show the truth with our own language. We're building a bridge over the storm, keep it steady, keep it warm. Biggie, we're here to talk. We're not about drama, just a solid walk. Put down your knife, put down your fork. Let's talk about life, the truth, the word. Biggie, we're here to talk. We're not about drama, just a solid walk. Put down your knife, put down your fork. Let's talk about life, the truth, the word. From the suburbs to the skyline, from the sunrise to the shine, we're turning the page, turning the page. We'll break the walls, we'll break the cage. We bring the headlines to your ear. What's happening in the world, no fear. We talk about peace, we talk about love, we talk about hope like a dove. We keep the rhythm, keep the rhyme. We'll light the way through the night. Woo! Biggie, we're here to talk. We're not about drama, just a solid walk.
Good evening. Welcome to Biggie Let's Talk, episode 58, I believe. I might be one or two out, but as long as I know it's 58. We're joined by logisticssales, who are a training company. I'm going to let guests explain it better. But all I know is that they do with training for the youth to better them for their future. So let's bring him in, Mr. Daman Gorawal. There you go. How do you say? You good?
Biggie, what's happening, man?
Fine, thank yourself. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, glad to be here and glad to be able to talk to your audience and introduce logisticssales.com to them.
Thank you very much. So let's get started. Tell us a bit about logistics sales. How did it start? Why did it start?
Okay, well, first, our mission at Logistics Sales is to show anyone and everyone that financial freedom is possible for you,
Mhm.
regardless of your background, where you live, your financial status, anything. But again, these opportunities are available all around us, and we're out to prove that anyone can achieve financial freedom as long as they're willing to expand their mindsets.
Okay, so
And
I'm in
so
the UK. What's made you expand out to the UK?
in the UK, well, it's these principles apply globally. And even when we
But
look
have
at
you have you
sales,
been have you done stuff in the UK before, or is that what you're trying to do now?
I've
You're
had
trying to expand out.
we've had drivers come out to our company from the UK, so we've actually employed UK people. So yeah, actually entrepreneurs even from the UK have come over into Canada, and we've actually
Of
helped
course,
them
yeah,
out as well. Yeah, but
fantastic.
again, we've had different people that want to go from real estate to get into sales and logistics from the UK as well. So yeah, definitely have had that interaction with the UK, not as big, and especially not with logistics sales because we're fairly brand new with what we're doing here. But
Hmm.
in the past, when we've done some of this training privately, but yeah, those inquiries have come from I think it was over 65 different countries around the world.
Wow. So where's your main office? It's in Vancouver, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so just
Is
outside
that where you guys
Vancouver,
started?
Surrey, BC.
Okay. And what is the main mission for logistics sales? Mission statement.
Exactly what I said was when it comes to financial freedom, we think it can be attained by anybody, and we're out to prove it, regardless of your background, your educational level, your finance level. Anyone can obtain financial freedom as long as you're willing to expand your skill sets, your mindset, and we're hoping that again, try to prove us wrong, and we're going to try to prove that it's possible for absolutely anybody.
Okay, so what's you told me that. What kind of training courses does the logistics sales offer for young people?
So it's actually for all ages, regardless of youngsters all the way up to adults. So we've helped people of all different ages in the type of training that we do. And okay, so yeah, talking about the training. So again, it's sales training as well as entrepreneurship training for people that want to start businesses and get into business. It's about exposing them to the opportunities that already exist around them so that they could actually look into and find out what actually suits them best, right? So what we want to do is expand that mindset to say, hey, there's opportunities all around us. And so it's up to you to identify which one aligns with you. So we don't want to really direct people and say, hey, you got to be doing sales, you got to go into this business. It's about letting them explore themselves to
Sure.
find out through watching some of our episodes and doing some of our homework that we have with the episodes that we put out. So there's actually worksheets that go along with it after episode 2 or 3 where people are actually doing alignment exercises to see, okay, well, what's my skill sets? Where can they be utilized? Let me see what resonates when I'm looking at different business opportunities all around me and seeing how do I align to actually fall
How
in
long does
place.
an average course last? The training.
How long does it last?
Yeah.
It can last a lifetime, right? It's as much as you need it. So
Sure.
education, I mean, it's always about growing and following suit. So we started launching our episodes in December. Right now, they come out once a week, and so there's about I think 12, 13 episodes out right now. Each one is bite size, not too bite size, but 20 to 30 minutes is the average length of one of the episodes, and then you kind of take from it what you want.
Okay. Any success stories that you can share with us?
Success, people having success all around us, right? So a lot of people when they first kind of come to logistics sales, the word logistics, a lot of people end up going into that logistics field, whether it's
So a lot transport.
yeah, so
Okay.
or even like the logistics, so the freight brokerage is
Yeah.
what we call it. And so success stories are people that either get into sales or open up their own businesses or even also find employment with something that's more aligned with what they've always wanted. And so those are the type of success stories that we typically have. So a lot of people again opening up different businesses. When they pick up the sales and communication skills, they're able to actually formulate a way to get into the proper employment that they're looking for as well. So some of the episodes that are out right now are all about how to find opportunities, how to get employed by some of these opportunities, and creating the right structures for that.
Sure. Okay. How do you make your sales training engageable for the youth?
Engageable, we try to make it a little bit fun. We edit our videos so it's not just plain and boring. So we have three people on the panel, so it's a little bit of back and forth. It's conversational like. And we also have the worksheets that kind of engage people to say, okay, well, hey, maybe I need to pay a little bit of attention here. And so anyone that's looking to kind of do a deeper dive into themselves, we want them to kind of go through these worksheets, and that's the part where there's interaction. And also, if you want to comment in the videos, then we'll try to respond back to some of the comments. And then lastly, for the people that are actually doing the homework and watching the videos, eventually we want to be able to set on one-on-one conversations with them, where we do like maybe a 20-minute interview where we can talk to them and see, okay, where are you at right now and what are you looking to do? And so this is some of the stuff that we've been able to help people with, depending on what they're looking for. I'll give you a couple of examples. Had a person that went to Vietnam. It was a doctor, right? So again, not a young kid, but someone older. So doctor goes to Vietnam. He realizes that hey, there's farmers out here that want to sell their coffee beans into North American markets, but he's like, I've got the supplier on that side. How do I get it into the North American market? So helping them create like a business plan to get that into action and say, okay,
Yeah.
well, who are the possible? Well, first you got to take a look at the logistics. Okay, how is it packaged? How do you get that product over here? What are the tariffs that are going to be on that product? So working out your costing for it to come over here. Secondly, your packaging of how to make sure that it stays intact and you don't ruin the product by the time it gets over here. So again, coffee beans, if they get moisture on them, are going to get ruined. So we kind of go over that, and then we look at, okay, who's presently bringing this product in right now. And then so again, showing him like, hey, all this information is available to you. This is how you're going to be able to make your business and marketing plan. And here's the potential customers on this side too that you can kind of go after. So a
Brilliant.
lot of people sometimes they have the great idea, but they don't know how to execute it, or they don't know the right steps. And so sometimes just helping them with that, okay, here's how we could take a look at the situation, and then find the right steps that are going to actually make it where you could actually execute on the actual business. And
And
so
are they mentored all the way through the course to training?
it depends, right? So what the training is typically meant for is to just expand the mindset, is to allow you to start opening yourself up. And this is where a lot of people want to go into entrepreneurship or want to go into a role where they could achieve financial freedom, but they don't necessarily know where to find it. And so that's the first step for us, is saying, okay, here, let's start exposing you to that. And for example, there was a guy that was in HR. Guy was in HR, late, around 50 years old, and the career that he chose wasn't really aligning with him. He wasn't feeling good about where he was at work. And so there's stats like even in the UK, 35% of the people in the UK right now are saying that stress is affecting their mental health. And so there's a lot of people
Definitely.
where you're in work and you're not really necessarily aligned with the work. And so those are the type of people where your inside is telling you, hey, I need a change. I need to be doing something different, something that more aligns with my skill sets, something that is gonna allow me to grow, is gonna allow me to have, some sort of finances come into me, or even just be aligned with what feels good inside. How do I feel good about what I'm doing inside? And
Definitely.
so the course, what we're trying to do is help people like that. And for example, this guy went from HR, still was making a six-figure salary, but then he was able to 5x his salary on the sales side. It took a little while, right? But then again, these things can happen if you're able to apply your skill sets, find the right
Sure.
employer. And so that's the thing too, is how do you find the right employer, where a lot of people feel stuck in one place? And what we show on one of our first episodes is two bar graphs, or it's a line chart where one of the lines are kind of hovering just like this, and this is the employee line, where you're kind of just you start at a salary that's very comfortable. And when you're at a very comfortable salary, your increments are increasing maybe a couple of percentage points each year to match with inflation. And so a lot of these jobs look great in the beginning, But if you've been there for 20 years and now you've added a spouse and you got kids and you got mortgages,
You want to up
then
it a bit.
all of a sudden this job may not look as great. But whereas the second line is a little bit lower, but then after around the 18-month mark, you're usually at the spot where you match with the employee line and then it skyrockets up. And that's the entrepreneurship line. So the starting of it is extremely difficult because a lot of times you can start at a very low salary or something where again you're taking probably a good financial hit from where you might be. And but the possibility here is to have that untapped uncapped potential for salary earnings where you could earn 25% more, 50% more, 100% more a year, or even in the thousands of percentiles. And so that's what
Excellent.
entrepreneurship unlocks.
Okay, you mostly answered some of this, but how does your sales on your platform prepare people for the real world outside?
It gives them the communication skills, right? One is it's actually opening them up. So a lot of people sometimes can't see outside their typical job. So when it comes to employment as well, a lot of people will stay at a job for quite a while till something happens.
Yeah.
And they're not really kind of picturing everything outside of what they're actually doing. A lot of people are trapped in a little bit of a box. And so when we see, okay, well, we can look at our marketplace as just in our city or our town, but then our platform is made to help expand that. Whether it's going from, your city or town to maybe the state or province that you're in, then
Hmm.
maybe looking broader even into the country that you're in, and then saying, okay, well, hey, there's an international market as well. And so exploring all those sides of it, what it's really doing is just expanding your mindset to open you up to opportunities. And that's the main thing that we want people to get from there is expand the mindset, understand that financial freedom is a choice. The person that holds that control is you. It's not your boss, it's not your teachers, it's not your parents, but who holds actual control of your life and your financial freedom? It's actually you. And then, for youth, this becomes more important because we're trained to just follow the lead of our elders. And we're
Oh,
really going to an employer and waiting for that employer to let us know what we're going to make next year.
yeah,
And we're so reliant on the employer providing for us that we forget that we can actually provide for ourselves if we align ourselves to those right opportunities. And if we're not getting them from where we are currently, that it's actually a choice for us to say, okay, well, do I want to start my next venture? Do I want to grow myself to learn a little bit more skills so I could actually apply this somewhere else? Or even take the skills that I currently have and be able to start applying this. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to show people that it's possible just through that platform. And that's what we want people to take away is knowing that okay, financial freedom has always been in your hands.
sure, definitely. Okay, after they've completed their training, do you normally sort them out with a job? Do you normally find them a job, or is
That's
it
not
down to
something that
them whether?
yeah, we would just give them the skills, possibly help them with some of the resources. And if they're stuck, yeah, we can guide them in the right direction. And right now, again, our episodes 11 and 12 are all about employment, how to find employment, how to find those opportunities. And we want people to take
Okay,
advantage of it.
so what industries or roles do you think the sales skills are most valuable in today's job market?
What sales skills?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just communication. So, one is just understanding your own value. What do you bring to the table? And understanding that when you have skills or different trades that you've picked up along the way, that those could equate to value in the marketplace. So learning how to value yourself in the marketplace is key. Knowing how to leverage that to monetize it for financial freedom is another big one. Where again, it's about having that roadmap, and that's what we want to show people is there's a roadmap that can help you get there. But a lot of it's going to be based on again where you are currently to where you want to get to and then saying, okay, which skills do I need to get there? Everyone's going to have different skills that are going to benefit them the most. Some people are good at writing skills, some people are
Okay.
more good at physical labor, and some people are more good verbally. And so, depending on which skill you have, it's about saying, okay, how can I leverage that? And sales isn't the sales from, here, let me sell you this pen. It's not that type of sales anymore. Sales can be done just off social media. Like if you know how to post a picture, that's sales. If you have done customer service in your life, that's sales too.
True.
So regardless of any skill set that you have, doing good customer service, whether you're in a trade, whether it's plumbing, electrical, anything, you can go out and just by the service that you do, that could be sales too, because you know how to sell yourself as an individual. When people see the talent that you have, they'll recognize it as well. And it's important that you recognize that to see, okay, hey, I got value inside of me because I just do a good job regardless of whatever I do.
Fantastic. Okay, what challenges do people face when they're starting up a career in sales, and how does logistics sales help them overcome that
Well, most of my training when it comes to
or
sales,
support them?
yeah, so a lot of the things is people just develop fears and blocks along the way. And so a lot of sales is just telling people to take these fears and blocks off. And a lot of people think that they have to be somebody different when it comes to doing sales. But nowadays, what we're noticing is that people just want to talk to real people. And so just saying, okay, well,
True.
if you understand your product and service well enough, research it enough where you know it comfortably. And so the challenge is just getting people to be comfortable in just being in their own skin, first of all, and then being able to talk to somebody without the fear of rejection. And so a lot of people just have this notion in their mind that they got to be somebody else. And we're just really just trying to peel back those layers and say, okay, well, what's preventing you from being yourself? And I see this all the time where, people have all the natural skills to do sales, but they're creating, when they deal with somebody, it's and then it's not business and it's personal. They can have a great relationship, but then all of a sudden, when they're transitioning into the business mode, now they think they have to, be somebody that they're maybe not normally. And so people pick up on that. People pick up on whether you're being authentic with them. People pick up whether you're just having that sales conversation with them just to get something. So people will feel that. So we tell people, hey, you know what? People can feel this, and a lot of people will sense it. And especially depending on how experienced you are when you're a consumer. And usually, if you've been burned in the past, you'll start picking up these traits, and you're going to start recognizing that, hey, you know what? I'm looking for someone that can tell me the truth. I want to deal with somebody that can say what they actually, do what they actually say. And so those are the things that we want people to understand and say, hey, you know what? Don't overcomplicate it. And even when it goes into entrepreneurship or even any of these sales journeys, it's like don't make a mountain out of a molehill. It's about just doing
Yeah.
one step at a time and just saying, hey, can I take the first step? And every time we take a step, it's about what can we learn from that so we could go back and adjust and then go out again and try it again. And nowadays, even when it comes to sales, technology is like a key player when it comes to teaching us even about sales. So, some
Especially with AI now.
yeah, AI. So we have some young reps that practice on Google Gemini, and they have conversations so they could practice their verbal skills and practice handling objections so that they can come up with the solutions and that it could flow
Brilliant.
in a conversation. And with Google Gemini, there's, again, you're talking to a computer system that's there and designed to help you have those conversations, help you think of that thought process and get you comfortable in having that conversation. And you can record it and you can play it back to yourself to be able to say, okay, well, how do I sound? Am I starting to
That's really
sound
good.
comfortable? Am I really struggling finding my words? How is this conversation going? And then once you get used to objections, then you already know, okay, this is coming down the pipeline. This is how I can handle it. And this is how I could genuinely serve somebody. And so a lot of what we teach too is about business ethics and how to do things in an honest way where you feel good about looking in the mirror tomorrow because you know you're doing the right thing. And that's again going back into that alignment space and saying, hey, you know what? How can I feel good about what I do? So it's not the typical Wolf of Wall Street type of sales that we teach, right? As you can tell, even with me having this conversation with you, I'm not sitting here and going to give you all this fake information about you got to be this and you
Yeah.
got to go all out. There's coaches that can help you with that down the road if you want to go down that route. But we're saying, okay, how do you do it from a genuine place that comes from within, where you really want something, not because you see it on social media, but it's something that really resonates inside of you. And we're talking to those people that where something inside here is happening and it's saying, okay, I need a change, or I think there's something better for me out there. How do I find that? Those are the people that we really want to talk to. And regardless of your age, like you could be a senior that's retired, but imagine like all that wealth of knowledge that you have inside you. Now, who can I help with that knowledge? Who can I help with all those skills that I learned for the last, 30, 40, 50 years? And saying, okay, well, can we serve our communities with that information? And even if you're a youth,
Okay, you've kind of like answered this one already, but how does your training equips people for not just sales but for long term job?
once you pick up a skill, it's with you for life. It's like riding a bike. If you actually take the
True.
time to learn something, that thing's going to pay off in dividends down the road. And a lot of the great trainers and mentors will tell you, Warren Buffett was key for saying that, the biggest investment you can make is the one that you make in yourself.
On
Because
yourself, yeah.
yeah, because as soon as you build any sort of skill, it's gonna give you that value back for years and years to come for the rest of your work life.
Okay, what impact does logistics sales have on you for the next 5 years? So looking forward.
So what our goal is for the next 5 years is hopefully have a course like this that's available for youth, available for everybody that can afford education, or it's put into the
Yeah.
school systems to again teach people about thinking outside the box. And so I'm not sure. Right now, there's a lot of stuff happening with Europe and India right now. There's new trade agreements that are
Yeah.
being made. Well, how does the rest of society capitalize on these type of trade deals, right? So we want people to start thinking broader because it's going to help. Again, it's going to help your city. It's going to help your country. It's going to help people globally. And so it's getting that mindset expansion and saying, hey, anyone can do this nowadays. If you just have a phone or maybe a laptop, anything's now possible. And to be able to connect globally and look outside even our own home for those opportunities and find them everywhere. So, our goal is to hopefully get this into the educational system and to be able to help and assist with that. And it's something that I want to, my personal goal is to get it out there globally to anybody that could use the information. A lot of times, I wasn't taught this stuff in school. I didn't really know how to make my financial future besides just, thinking that I'm going to be an employee for the rest of my life. But I never saw those opportunities when it came to entrepreneurship, or I wasn't really exposed to them and I never got to experience it. And so when I realized that, for example, being in entrepreneurship allowed me to go through some very difficult times in life, or when a family member passed away, whether
Yeah.
it's a major life crisis that we go through. It could be health issues. It could be anything that we're kind of going through. But when these situations happen, having that financial backing behind you and having a business that you're able to operate, whether it's part time or just even keep afloat somehow, those are huge when it comes to just the
Okay,
mental
how do you
stress.
measure success?
Pardon me.
How do you measure success for the people that you've trained?
Um, different for everybody, right? So different for everybody. Again, everyone's going to have their own definition of success depending on where you are in life.
Yeah.
For me right now, it's about just freedom of time. But for a lot of people, it may be just getting the first job. It may be getting a job that you actually enjoy. It could be just having a conversation that you never thought you could have. So again, depending, what level of success depends on where you are. And again, small steps compound to big ones down the road. And that's the main thing to always kind of keep in mind too, is that if we just make a start, then it's about, how far can we go? And that's what we want people to really know, right? Like there's so many people from, we talked about some of the success stories, but some of these success stories are from people that were in Asia or Europe that were doing business in the North American marketplaces and able to earn, 4, 5, 10 times what they were earning.
Sure. Definitely. Okay, any up and coming projects or scholarships or incentives aimed at youth excited about? getting training from you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, we're early in our journey, and we definitely have some scholarships that we have available on our website. They're a little bit smaller scholarships, but you never know. As we go on this journey, people are welcome to come join us on it, whether it's corporate, whether it's other entrepreneurs, anybody that wants to join us on this journey. So we never know where that could take off too, and especially if we get adopted by whether it's governments or schools. Um, Again, yeah, there's nothing really in the works right now. It's just more saying, okay, let's get through the first year of this project that we're doing. Let's see how many people we can help, and
Definitely.
that's pretty much the main goal for now. Is you know how many people can we help? How many people can we help lift up, or just get them to that next step, and even just put this information out there for everyone to view.
Excellent. Okay. What inspired you personally to train people up doing sales or the youth doing sales?
So sales and entrepreneurship, and what inspired me to do this. One is just I always wish I had that mentorship growing up. A lot of times I didn't know what my future looked like because I grew up without a dad and with a single parent household, and then financially I was extremely poor growing up, and I had to go through a lot of heartaches when it came to employment, trying to finish my schooling. And I just wish that somebody would kind of lay out that path for me and just kind of hold my hand and be like, "Hey, Damon, let me take you up that ladder, or let me show you opportunities that you can actually do, or give you that confidence that you can actually do it." And so I always wish I had that for
Brilliant.
myself. So that's one reason that I do it. Secondly, I talked about this briefly before, is that anyone that faces financial hardship should not have to go through that. They should be able to have that peace of mind that financially they are secure and that they can go through any situation in life and have that that money built up ahead of time. And I talk about this as well, where some of the people that we've helped can last. They earn 5 years, 10 years of income in 1 year. And so when you're able to do that through entrepreneurship and some of these
Fantastic.
opportunities, right? Imagine having that buffer zone. And so in North America, like in the US, 61 to 64% of the people live paycheck to paycheck. And so when I see stats like that and say, wow, like if they go through a financial hardship, like they might just be ruined. And so saying, when we live in such amazing countries, like the UK or England and Canada, US, some of these countries where they are capitalistic societies and we have government programs, but to say that if someone doesn't feel like they could be financially secure in the point where they would lose their home or not have enough to eat, I don't think these things are right. I think everyone deserves that flexibility in life to say, okay, hey, I'm allowed to take
Sure.
a day off, right? If my kids need me, I should be able to be there. And that's another reason why we kind of create this type of program, is to say, okay, well, hey, these type of opportunities exist and they're there for everybody, and not for the elite, not for the people that already have money, but they're there for anyone and everyone. And that's what we again want to put that message out there. And that's something I wish I heard when I was younger. And I wish somebody said, hey, you know
Definitely.
what, you're probably going to be only limited to these areas, or hey, people always try to put restrictions on you. When I had my first job in transportation, and after a year of working there, my employer told me, and he's like, "Hey, Damon, I don't think anyone's going to hire you in this industry." And so, being told stuff like that when you're trying to get a raise, uh,
Demotivating, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, if I would have taken that
Crazy.
seriously, there's no way I would have been able to achieve what I achieved, right? And so,
Okay, what's one of the most rewarding part? So you must, so you obviously you train all these people, so you must see them maybe 2, 3 years down the line, and now they are entrepreneurs, and now they're like
mhm,
bringing in the money. What's the rewarding for yourself seeing that you know what you helped this person,
yeah, well, I think that's
now he's succeeding?
it's anytime that you can see somebody go from this lower level to a higher level where their confidence is just goes up, and there's something that starts glowing about them. and,
Oh,
and
definitely.
so anytime you get to be around that, it just energizes you to do more. And so it's just anytime you do any sort of work where you're working with people and you're able to just raise people up. And that's,
Yeah.
whether, and anyone can, I'm not saying that this is through the program, but anyone can do this just by being a good friend, just by giving somebody, love, encouragement. Again, we do it through mentorship as well. But, there's so many different ways that we can do this that gives you that same result. And sometimes, like in a story of just something very simple that just happened a week or 2 weeks ago was, a 17-year-old young guy that was with us. His dad had lost his job, and he was able to. So the company that they were contracted with, he was able to reach that company directly and say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, my dad was working on behalf
A
of this
story of just
company for your company, and he was there for about 3.5 years, and he kind of explained it, and it was like great that he went to the company,
wow,
he met
that's
with,
brilliant.
yeah, and this is your kid doing this, and so he went to the first level of that company, and they sent him to another supervisor, and then to a senior supervisor, and so they sat down with him and his father, and to say, hey, we're so thankful that you're able to come here and explain this to us, and we never knew that this actually happened, and they kind of gave him a again, took the time to meet with them. So again, for a 17-year-old to learn that he could have a corporate level meeting, uh, just because he's
That's
doing
it.
something from the heart, and then on the other side, we have his dad who's super proud of him, saying, "Wow, my son is able to walk into this company that we were doing outside work with these guys for the last 3.5 years. I never thought I would ever be able to be invited into the company and to have a
Yeah.
senior management discussion." And so just realizing that, those type of situations are possible. And again, the amount of level of respect that they were treated with and the appreciation for how they presented themselves, because, again, he took wrote a proper letter, explained the entire situation, did it from the heart, and it was genuine from all the way, from beginning to end. And the results, when you get those type of results, the dad comes into the office and he brings in, coffee and donuts. He's all excited just about, like this whole experience that they went through. But even those moments become extremely rewarding for us.
Okay, I've got a question here from a viewer. Can you read that? Or do
Apart
you want
from
me to read it to
certificates,
you?
what practical skills make someone truly employable in today's Nigerian job market? Okay. Um, so it's anything that you want to put out there. So you have to evaluate any skills that you have. So obviously you're very good at writing. So I can see that you're very good at asking questions. So it's saying, okay, how can I value that into the workplace? Where can I use the education, any bit of knowledge that I have into the workplace, or what do I want to learn about? And say, okay, well, how can I interpret any of those skills? It doesn't matter what skill it is. Like there's so many skills that are so transferable. Like I said, for example, like customer service. If you know how to just do simple customer service and just understand people to be there to serve them, that's a huge skill set that most businesses need. And that's,
Definitely.
yeah. So you have happy if you when you have happy employees or happy relations with anybody, more people are likely to work with you. If you just have positive
Okay,
energy,
got another one here. Don't know. Can you read that? Hold on. Can you read it?
how can someone who already earns from skills like media, design, and training position himself to attract organization and formal employment? Um, 1 second here. It's the way that you're reaching out. So I think, and again, depends on what you're really looking for. So there's what I would want to ask you is just, what are you looking for internally? Are you looking to work just within the country that you are? Are you just looking to work in the city that you are? Or are you looking for outside opportunities as well? So when it comes to a skill like media or design, these are international skills that can be adopted by, again, anybody, or any company can be looking for these type of skills. It's a matter of saying, okay, well, can I build a portfolio for myself? Maybe I design my own website and be able to market myself as an individual. But there's so many opportunities, there's so many different ways to be able to position this that will open up doors left, right, and center. And if you're just getting started, maybe you start with companies or businesses in and around where you are or where you want to be working in the future, and start offering some of those services for free, because it's only going to cost you time, right? If there is any
Brilliant.
if there is any payments involved with that, you could even get the employers to pay for that. So there's so many ways to do
Okay,
it.
this one's mostly aimed more at you. Can you read that?
How do you stay motivated during tough times in business? Just again, so many ways to do this as well. Just be surrounded by the right people. Um,
It's true.
yeah, there's coaches that could assist you with that. There's so many different ways that you can kind of do that. Again, when we go into personal development, it's all about balancing ourselves. So saying, okay, where in my life do I need to get the balance to make myself strong enough to be able to do the business? Am I eating right? Am I taking care of my body? Am I taking care of my mind? Um, all these things are going to make a difference to stay motivated. And business is not easy, right? For a lot of people, business can be a struggle. And so, when I pulled out my stats, and maybe this will just help answer the question, but right now, 5.7 million businesses right now in the UK. 5.6 million of those are small to medium-sized businesses. And so when you look at that workforce, 98% of these people are, again, small entrepreneurs. And 50% of those companies, or actually in the UK, actually 60% of these companies are going to go out of business in 5 years. So it's not easy, right? But what it does show us is that there's a lot of opportunity to be able to help each other. And so, same, we had a guy that has media skills. So maybe person with media skills can help some of these small businesses, because when you are an entrepreneur, you're wearing multiple caps, right? The chances that you're going to be
Yeah,
strong at all of them, you tell me,
it can be that true.
right? So
Somebody with media skills can help that entrepreneur with a with a little small business, maybe pump up their social media skills.
100%. I mean, everyone needs help.
100%.
Yeah, everybody needs some
Okay, I've
help.
got another question here.
Mhm. So when they say you're trying to get international opportunities, one is you can start building out your network. Start getting curious, start learning about what those opportunities look like. You can start learning about things like what opportunities and what companies are requiring what type of skill sets, and how can I leverage myself into developing those skill sets for that company. And there, sometimes when you look at some of the programs that we already put out there, try to do some of the episodes and figure out your own skill sets first. There's going to be things that you've been exposed to. There's going to be things that you enjoy. And so, one is just looking for international opportunities. And this is where sometimes, like, I've seen a lot of people go through a lot of pain. And especially, Canada is another country where a lot of people want to immigrate to, and then they end up in jobs that they don't necessarily enjoy. And so
True.
dig a little bit deeper into, what I would say is, find out what's going to actually align with you. What are you going to be happy to do first, right? So again, we want to take people through the basic steps first before you get into, like, again, people kind of shoot for the moon right away. And so when you kind of have this, I need to get here right away, you're missing everything that's in between there. And they always say it's about the journey, not the destination. And so we're saying, okay, well, build a solid foundation first, right? Know who you are first. Know what you can bring to the table first, right? And then say, okay, what am I willing to do? Right? So break it down into smaller steps. Like, don't try to go for the moonshot right away. You can, right? And
Yeah.
again, that's
Most end
something.
up bucking up and falling down on the floor again.
Yeah, but again, what we want to do is just take people to the simple steps, to just say, hey, if you just do the next step, which is, again, just do a skills evaluation and get into some sort of alignment with yourself, it's going to be a lot easier down the road. And we don't want to see you go into a place where you're going to start suffering. And sometimes when you go into international positions, it's usually a work permit, which we are tied and bound to that company. And so why would you want to get bound to something that you may not necessarily like just because it's international? Or get tied into something where you're actually going to enjoy it, and it's going to be
True.
fulfilling and enjoyable, and because it could be a 2-3 year process.
Okay, that's the last question from the questions.
What makes a candidate employable across different countries and cultures? Again, anyone can be employable across different countries, across different cultures. I've seen that over and over and over again. It's, be yourself, right? Find out what you genuinely want to do. Again, same answers for what the previous question was. Is when you're looking at being employable, figure it out for yourself first, right? So what skills do I have, right? What can I do to network and build on these relationships? Can I get onto LinkedIn? Can I start looking at jobs on different job boards in that country or internationally, or within my own country? Find out sister companies that may have branches in different areas. So there's so many ways that you can start looking at these opportunities. But I think it's just getting into alignment with yourself. And I would just say go back to the videos, because we really try to do it in small steps where you feel like it's really possible for anyone in that situation. It's when you look at it as a big jump is when it looks difficult. That's one thing I'm trying to avoid with people, because a lot of people make this big mountain as a molehill. And what we want to do is just, again, small steps where, you just start with a general skills assessment. Start with saying, okay, well,
Okay,
what
sorry.
does
Another question just come through.
yeah.
Can you read that?
Is there opportunities for a sales chatter to gain international gigs? Can you explain what a sales chatter is? What's a chatter?
You mean charter? I don't know. It's just whatever the person's written.
Okay, so I would need some clarification. That maybe my British English might not be that best, but I'm not sure what a chatter is. But yeah, I mean,
It's not charter, is it?
so
I don't know.
sales is an international skill. Every single business needs sales to survive. If you don't have
100%.
sales in any business, it's not going to survive. So the skill itself is employable globally, which
Worldwide, that's right.
yeah. So even if you're a charity, you're still going to need a sales component. Otherwise, there's no money coming through that door. So when you look at it, every single business needs some sort of marketing, sales to get people to join with them for that business to actually survive. Otherwise,
Mhm.
it's you sitting in a box all by yourself, right?
True. Okay, Damon, last one for me. Did you manage to get me a nomination?
100%. I'm hoping that the viewers are gonna do some of the steps that we have at Logistics Sales, and they will tell you about their success stories and be your next person that comes on the podcast. Otherwise,
Brilliant.
give me a shout, and I'll definitely find people that
Fantastic.
want to be on here.
But
And I was just talking.
thank you very much. It's been fantastic listening to you, telling you about this course. And you never know, I might join it as well.
100%. I hope you do.
Thank you very much, Damon. All the best and take care.